Imagine waking up in a hospital bed, only to realize the person lying beside you is yourself. The same face, the same eyes, but lifeless. This is where our story begins. The night was thick with fog as Dr. Evelyn Ross made her rounds in the abandoned wing of St. Mercy Hospital. Recently reopened after years of neglect, the hospital was supposed to be a beacon of hope for the city's forgotten patients. But something felt off. The flickering fluorescent lights cast long shadows down sterile corridors, and the silence was broken only by the distant drip of a leaky faucet. Evelyn was a brilliant surgeon, known for her groundbreaking work in regenerative medicine. She volunteered to oversee an experimental treatment for patients with irreversible brain injuries, using a serum designed to regenerate damaged neural tissue. The trial was hush-hush, conducted in the hospital's isolated wing, away from prying eyes. One evening, Evelyn received a call from a nurse. Patient 217 had shown unexpected signs of consciousness. This patient had been declared brain dead weeks ago. Curiosity and professional duty compelled Evelyn to visit the room immediately. As she pushed open the heavy door, a cold draft whispered through the hallway. Inside, the bed was empty. Confused, Evelyn scanned the room. On the monitor, the vital signs blinked erratically. Then something caught her eye, a faint reflection in the cracked mirror above the sink. She turned quickly, heart pounding. Sitting in the corner was a figure, pale and gaunt, eyes wide with terror. "Who's there?" Evelyn whispered. The figure didn't respond but slowly lifted a trembling hand, revealing a hospital bracelet. Patient 217. Evelyn's breath caught. She stepped closer, and as the figure's face emerged from the shadows, she gasped. It was her own face, but twisted in pain and desperation. "It's me," the figure rasped. "Or the part of me that never woke up." Evelyn stumbled back, heart racing. Suddenly the lights flickered violently, and the room chilled. The figure vanished, leaving behind a faint whisper. "The serum. It's not just healing. It's awakening something else." Determined to uncover the truth, Evelyn dove into the research. The serum was derived from an experimental compound harvested from a rare deep-sea organism, believed to contain regenerative enzymes. But the deeper she dug, the more she realized the serum had side effects no one anticipated. It didn't just regenerate tissue, it resurrected fragments of consciousness trapped in the brain's damaged cells. That night, Evelyn couldn't sleep. She kept seeing her own reflection in every shiny surface. Each time the reflection seemed more alive, more desperate, as if trying to communicate. Suddenly, her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "You're not the only one waking up." Panicked, she rushed back to the hospital. Hallways seemed to stretch endlessly, shadows twisting into grotesque shapes. In the experimental wing, monitors flickered on and off, displaying cryptic images, faces contorted in agony, whispers of voices begging for release. In the lab, Evelyn found a hidden room behind a false wall. Inside, dozens of glass tanks held what looked like human brains suspended in a strange, glowing liquid. Each brain pulsed faintly, connected to wires and monitors. Suddenly, one tank cracked, and a tendril of mist seeped out, coiling toward her. She realized with horror that the serum had created a limbo, a purgatory where consciousnesses were trapped between life and death, growing restless, desperate to escape. The patients were not just healing, they were becoming prisoners of their own minds. Evelyn faced a chilling moral dilemma: shut down the project and let these fragmented souls fade away, or continue the experiments in hopes of truly reviving them, risking unleashing something uncontrollable. As she debated, her own reflection appeared in the tank's glass, eyes pleading. The mist swirled, forming a face identical to hers but twisted in eternal torment. The screen on the nearest monitor flashed a final message. "To save them, you must choose what you sacrifice." Evelyn reached out, and the mist enveloped her. The screen went black. Weeks later, the hospital wing was sealed off once more, whispers of strange occurrences circulating among staff. Some say if you pass by at night, you can see faces pressed against the windows, patients who never truly woke up, and the doctor who chose to join them in that eternal limbo. So, next time you hear about a miracle cure, remember, some awakenings come at a price far worse than death. But the story doesn't end there. Months passed, and the sealed wing remained untouched, a forgotten secret buried beneath layers of caution tape and hushed warnings. Yet, rumors persisted among the hospital staff. Glimpses of shadowy figures wandering the corridors, distant cries echoing through the night, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. The hospital administration dismissed these accounts as stress-induced hallucinations, the product of overworked minds in a place steeped with sorrow. Meanwhile, in her apartment, Evelyn's colleagues began noticing strange changes in her behavior. Emails went unanswered, calls were ignored, and when she did appear, her eyes held a vacant, haunted look. Whispers of her obsession with the serum and her relentless pursuit of the truth spread quietly among the research team. One day, Dr. Marcus Hale, Evelyn's closest friend and fellow researcher, decided to confront her. He found her staring blankly at a wall covered in photographs, medical reports, and hastily scribbled notes, an entire map of the experimental wing and the patients affected by the serum. "Evelyn," Marcus said gently, "you need to rest. This obsession is consuming you." She turned slowly, her gaze sharp and piercing. "You don't understand, Marcus. The serum, it's not just science. It's a gateway. Those patients, they're trapped. And I'm the key." Marcus frowned. "What are you talking about?" "I went back there," she whispered, voice trembling. "I saw them. The patients, the fragments of their souls. They reached out to me. I can't abandon them." Concerned, Marcus suggested she take a leave of absence, but Evelyn refused. Instead, she became more determined, secretly continuing the research from her home, attempting to find a way to safely free the trapped consciousnesses. One stormy night, as rain hammered against the windows and thunder rattled the city, Evelyn made a breakthrough. She discovered a sequence of neural patterns within the serum's compound that could potentially bridge the gap between the physical brain and the trapped consciousness, allowing them to reintegrate fully. However, the process was untested and fraught with unknown risks. Despite the danger, Evelyn prepared for a final experiment, one that would require her own mind and body to be the vessel. She hoped to bring back not just the patients, but also herself, whole and free from the torment that had consumed her existence. In the basement of her apartment building, she set up a makeshift lab, assembling the serum and the necessary equipment. As she administered the injection, a wave of cold washed over her, and the room seemed to dissolve into darkness. Evelyn found herself in a vast, shifting landscape, a limbo between worlds, filled with countless faces screaming silently, reaching out for salvation. Among them, she saw the patients, their eyes pleading, but also herself, fractured and lost. Drawing upon her will, Evelyn began to weave the neural patterns, attempting to stitch the fragments together. The process was agonizing, memories and emotions colliding within her mind. She felt the pain and despair of each trapped soul, but also their hope. Slowly, the faces began to solidify, their forms becoming whole again. The darkness receded, replaced by a warm light. Evelyn's own reflections smiled back at her, not twisted and desperate, but serene and free. When she awoke, she was back in her apartment, the serum's effects subsiding. The experience had changed her profoundly, leaving her with a deep understanding of consciousness and the fragile boundary between life and death. Determined to prevent others from suffering the same fate, Evelyn compiled her research and exposed the dangers of the serum to the medical community. The project was permanently shut down, and the hospital wing was dismantled. Though her colleagues praised her courage, Evelyn knew the truth was more complex. Some doors, once opened, cannot be closed entirely. And somewhere, in the shadows between life and death, the echoes of those trapped souls whispered on, waiting for the day they might finally find peace. Imagine waking up in a hospital bed only to realize the person lying beside you is yourself. The same face, the same eyes, but lifeless. This is where our story begins anew.